What is going on, you guys? Richard Doyle coming back at you again today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. It is Monday, November the 11th. Sun is shining, feeling great today. Hope you can say the same, and if not, a little bit of pepper, avalanches of prosperity and abundance. And so today we're actually gonna take a little bit of a background here. And what I want to talk about is I want to talk about my journey toward enlightenment, because a lot of you have been on a journey toward enlightenment, and some of you, you haven't quite started that journey yet. And so I want to let you know that the journey toward enlightenment it's a lot of learning. It's a lot of growing. It's a lot of roller coasters, emotions of roller coasters. And so everything that you feel on your journey toward enlightenment is very normal, very natural, very uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, you feel great with the person that you're becoming. And so I want to preface this video by starting off and saying that if you're on your journey, keep going. If you haven't started your journey, it's going to be tremendous. Just hold on, enjoy the ride, and know that you're becoming the best possible version of yourself. But for me, where enlightenment actually started is when I was growing up. I am from the Midwest, Chicago more specifically. I was kind of following the mantra and the norm of what everybody in society was doing, which was, I went to high school. I went to college. I was actually going to college to be an auto mechanic. I wanted to help people. That was kind of the whole idea behind it. So I actually went to college for 4 years. Got a degree in automotives, was a mechanic for a little bit of time, simultaneously was in a pretty serious relationship overall. And when I got into the workforce, things started to look a little bit different for me. I started working, and I wasn't really happy with where I was at. Matter of fact, I was downright depressed with where I was at. I felt like there was a missing link in the program of my life, or in the reality of my life. I felt like there was something that wasn't there, like I wasn't feeling fulfilled. So I was a mechanic for about 3 or 4 years or so, bounced around from a couple different companies. Really, at the end of the day, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to leave an impact on people, and I wanted to do it what I thought was through automotives and fixing people's cars. And what I started to realize is that more and more and more every day, it wasn't what I thought it was. I didn't feel like I was helping people. I didn't feel like I was leaving an impact, and I just felt overall lost. Now, simultaneously during that time, I was in a pretty serious relationship overall. I was in a relationship for about 3.5 years, and some things happened which really it turned my life upside down. It made me a really depressed person. We actually ended up breaking up, really terrible breakup, to be honest. And at that point in time in my life, I was really just a very lost person. I really didn't know what was going on in my life. I felt like I had followed the norm of what I was supposed to be doing in regards to getting a good job and going to college and, trying to find the love of my life. But every door that I seemed to open in Chicago would just close on me just as fast as it would open. And so, again, I felt this really empty feeling inside me, and it was something that I couldn't fill no matter what I tried to do. Simultaneously, the friends I had, still friends with them till this day, we didn't really have any goals. We weren't goal-driven people. We were just hanging out for the weekends and really just kind of living on a day-by-day basis. And so it was one of those things that even on the weekends, I wasn't filling myself up with any sort of positivity, or wasn't really goal-driven or going after the things that I wanted. So I was more stagnant or complacent than anything. So I felt like my life was not advancing at all. And so what ended up happening was a good friend of mine, I actually ended up calling him and I said, I'm really lost right now. I don't know what's going on in my life, and I really don't know what to do. And he made the suggestion that I take a vacation and just really start to clear my mind. And what I didn't know at the time is that was going to be the single best decision that I could have ever made my entire life. So what ended up happening was I took about a week and a half off work. I actually flew out to Flagstaff, Arizona, and I stayed with a group of people who the energy that they had was something I had never felt before. These were people that were my age and younger that were only focused on getting better. They were reading all the time. They were meditating. They were building each other up. They were doing things that wasn't normal in what I had seen growing up in Chicago. And so I was there for about a week and a half, and I spent a lot of time around them. And it was like so foreign to me. I remember thinking to myself, like, this isn't normal. What these kids are doing right now is not a normal thing. This is so strange to me. But inside me, it felt like they were doing the right thing. I just didn't know how to relate to it. So what ended up happening was I went back to Chicago after my vacation, and I tried to bring back that vibe, that vibration of energy back to Chicago, and I tried to change my mindset, and I tried to do things every single day that would help me get better. But I was really a product of my environment at the time. And so what ended up happening was I went back to work for about 6 months, was still trying to deal with my breakup, and I just couldn't. It was, I was stuck. I felt like where I was at in that moment, I was stuck, and I had to do something different, and I had to make a drastic change in my life in order to get the things that I wanted out of life. And so about 6 months after I came back to Chicago, I woke up one morning, and it was one of those decisions that I talked about in previous videos where you don't have to question it. You just know that this is what has to happen. So it was a decision that happened instantly, and that decision was I need to move to Flagstaff. I need to just uproot and go somewhere else. Now, mind you, I didn't have a job lined up. I really had no income. I had family out there, but it wasn't as big of a family as I was used to in Chicago. I certainly didn't have any friends, anything like that. But I knew that this is what I had to do in order for me to figure my life out. So what ended up happening was around January of 2013, I packed up everything. And I actually sold a lot of my possessions. I didn't take a lot of stuff with me to Arizona. I just completely up, and I think I had 2 or 3 suitcases full of stuff, and I went and I just left. And so the next section of my life completely changed my life for the better. And so when I got to Arizona, as I mentioned, I was around a lot of people who were reading, a lot of people who were growing, who were pushing themselves, who were challenging themselves. And I thought that this life that I was going to be living was going to be an extremely easy life. And so I'm going to go back just a little bit. When I was in Chicago, I gamed a lot. I was a huge gamer. I would game between 4 to 6 hours a night. And that's what my life was about. It was about working and then gaming on the weekends. So I had intention of bringing my video game system with me to Arizona. Luckily, the universe had other plans for me. So as I get to Arizona, I'm thinking to myself, life is going to be really easy at this point. I'm just going to lay back. I'm going to be around a bunch of people that are happy all the time. It's stress-free. I'm going to have my video game system. Everything's going to be perfect. Video game system never shows up in the mail. Little did I know that was the biggest blessing that could have ever been, because what that forced me to do is that forced me to start reading books, and that forced me to step out of my comfort zone. I had no other choice at that point but to occupy my mind and start doing things to basically fill up that time that video games would have otherwise taken up. So I started reading at that time and just growing my mind and expanding. And fast forward about a month later, my best friend walks in and he goes, "Hey, we got to start challenging more. We got to start pushing you a little bit more." And so I was like, I don't know what that means. And I've always been somebody who has been afraid to do things, always. And so he goes, we're going to start doing a lot more hiking. I hope you're ready for it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, we'll do some hiking down the road, right? Whatever, doesn't matter. I wake up the next morning, 7 a.m. in the morning, wakes me up, hey, it's time to go hiking. And I was never a morning person. I'm like, what is going on right now? So we get up in the morning and we go on a hike. Scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I've never been more fearful for my life. I've never been more, what am I doing? This is insane. And I'll tell you, in those 2 instances between reading books and really pushing myself to the limit, those 2 things outside of moving to Arizona single-handedly showed me that there is no limit except the one that you place upon your mind. And so what really happened at that point is I had this huge shift in my life where I was more focused on becoming the best possible version of myself and doing new things than I was being okay with the person I used to be. It was this thing where I got so sick and tired of being sick and tired with the person I was in Chicago that I had to change. And once I made that change of moving to Arizona, everything else started falling into place, from the video game system not showing up, which forced me to have to start reading, to surrounding myself with people who were pushing themselves to the limit, which then in turn made me push myself to the limit, which then led me to being more of an entrepreneur in a business mindset, because that's what those people were focused on. They were focused on becoming self-employed. They were focused on being entrepreneurs. They're focused on creating a lifestyle of abundance and prosperity and becoming free overall. And so it was this spiral effect of, once I made up my mind that I was going to move to Arizona, everything else fell into place. And that's how law of attraction and making the decisions, the lifestyle that you want to create happen. That's exactly how it happens, is you make that decision that I'm going to do this and I don't know how it's going to work out. And I'm not fearful because I know it's going to work out. And then you make that decision, and then things start falling into place as they should to help you become more of the person that you are destined to become. And so that was really my first step toward enlightenment, was really just reaching a point in my life where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when that happened, there was no decision outside of, I have to go to Arizona and I have to start becoming the best possible person I can be. And when I started to do that, things started to change in my life for the better. And that's what's led me to be the person who I am today. And the best part is it's only getting better, and I couldn't be more thankful, because I'm getting a chance to spread that message to other people who are ultimately striving to become the best person they can be. And that's something that would have never happened without taking that first step to enlightenment. So I stress to you, don't be afraid to take that massive step in your life, and don't question it. When the feeling is there, take that chance. Go do that. Jump in, the net will appear. Everything's going to be okay for you. And when you have that attitude and you have that mindset that I'm going to do it, that's it, period, everything else starts going in the direction of your dreams, and everything starts to work out for you, because everything is supposed to work out for you. And that's what's happened on my journey, and that's what's going to continue happening in my journey, and that's what will happen in your journey as well. So really, that's what led me to where I am today, and I'm thankful that I can share this story with you. And I'm thankful that in the future, this story is going to impact other people, and you're going to create your own story, which will also help impact other people as well. And together, we will raise the consciousness as a collective. I couldn't be more blessed and thankful enough to have the support of you guys. And I couldn't be blessed and more thankful enough to be able to spread this message of positivity and love and prosperity and abundance to everybody who's willing to hear it. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and of course turn on the bell notification. Helps with the YouTube algorithms, and also lets you notifies you when a new video comes out. Of course, we do release a new video every Monday through Friday on a week-by-week basis. So you're going to get fresh content every single day, and of course we preface those videos and what they're going to be about on the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Real Rick Doyle. Go like that page. We're always posting positive things on there. We're able to share our stories of prosperity and abundance, and how things have changed for the better in our lives as well. So I hope to hear your story and your message, not only in the comment section below, but also on the Facebook page as well. I love hearing how you are becoming the best possible version of yourself, because we have to do it as a whole. If we want to make this planet a better place, it starts with ourselves. And by being able to spread this message of positivity and abundance, and being able to share this openness and love and prosperity with all we run into, it's only going to help raise that vibration on this planet as a whole. And I couldn't be thankful enough to have you guys on board with me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Monday, and you will hear from me tomorrow. Peace.